Okay, I'm going to wait for a couple of people to pop in here. We're going to start with the MKA005, then we're going to go into the MKA007, and then we're going to have both of these open, but we're going to compare them as we open the MKA048-6. So, everybody has seen these two kits forever. Some people like them, some people don't. I think they're okay. For what they offer, it gives a person who is not comfortable with doing elaborate lighting, it gives them the opportunity. It gives them the opportunity to get their feet wet in lighting. You also have to have a little bit of pre-knowledge on how to solder in case the connections don't work. You also have to know how to reflow solder on the Bussard circuit boards, because that's a failure rate of almost 50% on the older kits. You also have to know how to reflow the solder on the circuit boards. That has a failure rate of almost 1/3. It was a very common problem. Hopefully they have it fixed with the new kit. So let's get going on the MKA007. This was the very first release. Now, or the MKA005. Now, don't pay attention to this date range. That was probably a later kit, but these came out in 2012. Correct me if I'm wrong. The next one came out probably a couple of years later, so this is an early kit of the 07. The only difference between these two kits, other than the weathering decals and the photo etch, which is these two items, is nothing. That's it. The photo etch you can buy now online. The weathering decals you can also buy online. So, the MKA005. I bought this from a collector down in Sandy who had just taken it to MRS Hobby Shop. He needed money, so I paid what MRS Hobby Shop wanted. Let's get this out of the way. So when you first open the box, you're going to notice that there's stuff behind it. There is the decals, and one side or the other is going to have the photo etch. There's the decals, the same ones that are in here. There's the photo etch. The exact same photo etch. Okay? And you can pick this up on eBay. And if you want to know the part number, it is MKA009-12. There's the UPC code. Really nice photo etch. I've had 2 TOSs built. They've all used this. Paul from Paragraphics makes a nice photo etch set. I think there's 3. There's one for the bridge, one for the ship. Okay, so let's take care of the decals first. Now, some people like these, some people don't. Once you get it on the ship with the proper gray which is AS18 Tamiya. They won't look so gaudy on as they do on white. But there's the photo etch. See how bright they look? They won't look that way on the ship once you put it on the ship. I should have turned this over. And these are all numbered. And there's directions. We'll go over the directions. Protective tissue over each one. Oh, come on. There's part of the rust ring. That was the other thing that was missing. There used to be a rust ring in this kit. There used to be. So this is an aftermarket. This is an aftermarket decals, and I'll show you what the original ones look like. The original MKA005 decals do not look like this. The rust ring is separate. So let's see if my other MKA005 has them. Autographed by Jamie Hood. No, I have them stowed away somewhere. I know I do. Anyway, that's how you tell an original set. So let's continue on. Oops. Yeah, I'm going to have to say something to this guy about that, because that should have had that sheet in there. And don't do what I just did. Try to put the decals back in with the photo etch. Take the photo etch out so you don't bend it. Okay, and then the aftermarket directions will be different. Okay, we've gone over the photo etch, the decals now. This is just some advertising that was in here. This tells you how to install the photo etch. I'm going to go ahead and get that scanned and put on the group. Weathering decals. Now let's see. Here's the light kit instructions. Now this is what we wanted to go over. This is the original motors. I lost my feed, I think. These are the ones that are notoriously loud. You get the circuit boards. These haven't even been opened, other than probably slid out. So what you need to know is sometimes, you know, it was on the 9 o'clock position, like this one. You need to know how to reflow the solder on the 8 and 9 o'clock positions, maybe 7 o'clock, because those I've always found did not have enough solder. And while I've got this out, these go in, they're clocked. So when you put these in your model, there's a certain tab that they have to go on. And I forget which tab it is. I think it's the bottom one. But anyway, you feed the wires through. And there you go. And then you put your lighted bulbs in here. Now on the group, I've got which way they go in a certain clocked position, and that starts with that tab. That's your clock tab. So we'll deal with that on the other videos that are already up on the group. That's your circuit boards. Here are all of your LEDs. I'm not even going to bother to open this right now. I think it's got Scotch tape on it, yeah. I'll have to get the scissors and cut that. This is your clear shuttle bay parts. And we'll open those up here in a second. This is your LED tape and circuit boards, and we'll open those as well. This is your colored parts. Now, from what I've seen on my two Enterprise original series, the original series, the TOS, the green and the red nav lights that go on the top of the saucer, just use the clear and paint them green and red. They'll be brighter than these. However, these work great in the nacelles, in the Bussards. And if you haven't already, you probably should get yours painted orange with some smoke. So, let me go grab the scissors and we'll open these up. Here is parts of the shuttle bay. I don't know if you can see that, all this well. That's not helping either. Anyway, sides of the shuttle bay, back of the shuttle bay. This is part of your nacelle grill. There's the other part. One goes in front of the intercoolers, one goes behind. Now on this one goes in front, one goes behind. That's the top of your shuttle bay, that's your bridge, that's the fantail. This is where everybody paints them with Sharpies, which is stupid. Use paint. This is part of your tractor beam on the back. Above the shuttle bay door. So here is the original circuit boards. See if I can open these without cutting something important. One circuit board. There's the other one. This should be just as simple as paint by numbers. Everything is labeled. So what we've found is that some of this solder, and it'll look black, like that one. You need to reflow some of this solder. See how muddy that looks? You need to reflow the solder on some of this versus how shiny it looks on some of them. Otherwise they don't work right. And it's usually only one board, not both. So just keep an eye out For dark, muddy looking solder, it'll have to be reflowed before you even put power to it, otherwise you're going to be fighting yourself. And don't put the circuit boards in the ship. Put them in a base. I wish I had a pause button on Facebook Live. That way you guys wouldn't have to watch me fight with bags to put stuff back in. Alright. So that is in there now. We've looked at these. I noticed the plugs have a specific lock. They only go on one way. Okay, so the MKA005, this has shrink tubing in it. I don't remember my other one having shrink tube. But there's for two different locations. One is for the Bussards and one is for the secondary hull and saucer. So pay attention to your directions and you will be fine. So and it says here, though it has been engineered as to not require soldering, advanced modelers can choose to do so with slight modifications of the parts. Now, a lot of the light kits that I see on eBay, they are no different than this, really, honestly. So, that's what comes in the MKA005. Now we're going to get into the MKA007. Oh, one other thing. The power supplies in the MKA005 and 007, the reason that most people have problems with the lights taking time to warm up is this little bad boy right here. It's not enough amps. It should be at least 1.5. Don't even bother using this. Get yourself a 2 amp power supply with the correct plug off of eBay. Don't even worry about using this. It was never enough amps. This lighting kit right here, as you see it, MKA005 005 and 007, you cannot light up the nacelles and the rest of the ship and run the Bassards all at the same time with that power supply. It won't work. It's too much of a line draw, and you won't get any performance out of it, if any lighting up at all. It's just the way it is. Get yourself, if you buy one of these kits and you're happy with these older motors making do yourself a favor. Get yourself a 2.0 or 2.5 amp power supply. You'll never have to worry about the lights having to warm up and going faster. They'll light up right away. I prove it on the group. There's a video on the group already. Okay, let me get this all put away. Okay, MKA007. I'm not getting in the camera frame here. This is a sealed box. I got it from Michael Starling over on the East Coast, and we're going to open this up. Let's see, where's the tab? I always thought the artwork was wonderful. Okay, this slides out even easier because there's no decals on the back. Oop. So here you have your installation instructions. And that's it. No decal placement. No photo etch instructions. All your lighting is here. And we have this up on the group. Look in the Files tab for MKA005 and MKA007 for the TOS lighting instructions. They're already on the group. And the same advertising that was in the other one. When Cameron, Randall Lewis, and I checked out these kits 2 or 3 years ago, we had 2 unopened kits at the time also. The other one was 0.9. This one's 0.9. And the other power supply was 0.89. Don't even bother with this. Really. Just get yourself a 2.5 or a 2.0 power supply off of Amazon with the correct plug, and everything will be fine. You don't have to worry about your TOS having to warm up in the winter time to get going, or even in the summertime. It has the same motors, same circuit boards. And this is the one that's usually the problem. No problem on that one. The bag is not divided like the other one. I don't see any problems with this one, or potential problems. Maybe that one, but the rest of it looks pretty good. And then of course you got the same 2 different bundles of pre-wired connectors. And you've got the same shuttle bay, the TOS grills, forward, rear, rear, forward, bridge, fantail, tractor beam, bridge, top of the shuttle bay, sides of the shuttle bay, back of the shuttle bay. You got your LED tape. I have seen TOS lighting kits to where the resistors and the plugs are falling off. So that's why I'm doing this. Let's see, gotta turn it around. If you get one of these kits, just wiggle it, see if it's loose. You don't have to force it, just wiggle it. You'll know. Looks pretty good. I don't see any. Maybe that one. It's a little black. Just wiggle them. You don't have to force them. Just see if they're loose. That one is a little black. That's a little black. Doesn't look, almost looks like not enough solder. But pretty tight. I'm happy with those. Or whoever winds up getting these should be happy with it. And we fight stuff back in the bag. So next, we are going to just breeze over the colored Christmas bulbs is what everybody has called them. They are your translucent parts. Oh my goodness. Can't believe that this is much of a fight. Well, I'm going to wind up taking them out anyway and compare them with the new ones. So from MKA005 to MKA007, they haven't changed. They may have stepped up the quality on checking solder joints because the very first ones were pretty horrible. A lot of complaints, let's say that, not horrible. Again, on your navigation lights on top of the saucer, just use the clear ones and put some Tamiya green and Tamiya signal red on the clear parts on top of the saucer. They're going to be brighter. They're going to look correct. These are just too dark and too dense. But to use them for the Bassards, they look okay. Okay. Now comes what everybody's waiting for. And here is the clear parts that I was talking about that are in the main kit. You should have these. And you should have these. You're going to need some of these. Even though you use the colored parts, you're going to need some of these because some of them were pink. Some of them were pink. I already covered that in the color rotation on where and what number, what rotation, what side port and starboard to put your colored bulbs in. All right. So, the moment of truth. Cameron and I were talking last night about the original motors versus the aftermarket. So, we have always recommended someone off of eBay to buy the motors from. They're a lot quieter. They last a lot longer. You won't have near as many issues. I will be posting the link for the motors later. And I got my trusty, dusty, rusty, where is it? Here it is. Cameron and I were talking last night, and with all of the stuff going around on the internet about the old motors and what everybody was recommending to buy, Cameron and I pretty much thought, what if the new kit has the very same motors? What are the chances? I think the chances are pretty good because Jamie Hood from Round2 Polar Lights, he listens to collectors, he listens to model builders, and he it's not just listening, it's paying attention. Really a great guy, but my money is you're going to find some metal case motors, metal case, a metal shaft, metal gears instead of plastic. Mark my words. Cameron, I'm putting you on the hot seat with me. And I'll get photos of these so you guys know what the part number is. So, are we ready? So, the motors that we've been recommending are 26.38 millimeters. Forgot to do this. I was going to do this before opening the other one. This is an original motor. This is 27.8384. Roughly 10 millimeter. Just a shade under 12 millimeter. Just a shade under 12 millimeter. Now, the only difference between these two, other than metal gears and plastic gears, is the shaft diameter. When you guys buy aftermarket stuff, mainly this is a great example. Mainly the where is it? This is my all-time favorite fan blade. When you guys buy these fan blades, you're going to have to make a choice between which shaft. Always ask me. If in doubt, ask. Because see, they won't fit on there. You have to get the right size. These, with a little bit of honing out, slide right on. And they work perfect. Don't be taking them on and off all the time. You will snap the legs. All right. Now we're going to open the new kit. Come on, stay up there. Jamie Hood, thank you so much. If you need it back, let me know. I'd be more than happy to send it back. Very, very thankful that we got an advance kit. Really nice printing, UV artwork. UV stands for ultraviolet, for those that don't know. It's what makes printing shiny, UV coating. This tab is being stubborn. There we go. All right. So let's get these out of the way. Original, aftermarket. Hey, how about that? So we got a nice big thick instructions. Boy, they really revised this. Guys, instead of 2 pages, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we got new instructions. Tells you exactly which one goes where. You don't need to put it in the saucer. Okay. Notice this is an improvement. You can put the lights here in the grooves on the sides. You're still probably going to have to shave off some on the outer, the inside of the hull here. Nice big graphics. Okay, we got separate bags this time. Orange, blue, green, red, six pieces, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yep. Everything's here. Top of the shuttle bay, back of the shuttle bay, front of, forward of the intercooler, rear of the intercooler on one nacelle, forward of the intercooler, rear of the intercooler on the other nacelle, tractor beam emitter, fan tail, bridge, top of the shuttle bay. Wow. All I gotta say is wow. Look at the size of these LEDs compared to the other ones. Okay, some of these in here are a lot smaller. They're going to be your shuttle bay, as whereas the older kit really didn't have anything a lot smaller, but they did. And everybody confuses this. You got your LEDs. There's one that's smaller. There's one that's smaller. Let's see if we can. So there's your ion pod. The other ion pod, port and starboard. Look at this. Tell me Round 2 and Jamie Hood don't listen. You got a flat LED and you got a round LED. And then you've got a round LED with a flat top. And then you've got big, huge LEDs. So you guys got to really pay attention to what's in this kit, because there's a lot of changes, and it looks like they paid attention to builders and helped us out. Rectangular LED, and then where does that flat one go? Where did that flat one go? There it is. Wow. I'm just amazed. That that solves a bunch of problems right there. So now we have the other bag with the connectors. These are about 4 times the size of the other connectors. Look at that. Your mini plugs are still about the same, but the connectors otherwise are a little bit bigger, a little bit more sturdier. So far, I like the improvements. I think they did a good job. LED tape. It's in strips, not one big round piece where you got to guess. You may still have to trim it, but it's not at least one whole big piece. Another good improvement. Right here, on and off switch. I would have liked to have seen on, off, all on, to where you could turn on just the ship lighting and then choose the motors. But that was a suggestion from somebody on the group. Personally, I can't ever recall seeing the Enterprise but one episode where they had only the lighting on and no motors running. Let's see, how do these look? Wow. That looks good. Are they thinner? No. I like the soldering job. Looks really good. And the clips, look different. No, they're the same. Notice the clocking. Nice solder work. Somebody paid attention, got the assembly people in China on the ball. Okay, so that's done. We already did the switch. Circuit board. Bagged separately, easy in, easy out this time. How's that? These feel tighter. Nice big solder joints. How's that? They feel tighter. Nice job, Jamie. Nice job. Yeah, maybe the board's thicker too. They just feel tighter. Nice job. Okay. Motors. Oh, and it looks like they included some shrink wrap. Motors are still plastic. So, Cameron, we don't need to buy a lottery ticket. They're not as loose as the other ones. I'll have to see if I can get this hooked up to power and see how they sound. They're not this. Oh, let's measure them out. Just for giggles. $28.9. What were the other ones? $26.2, 0.12, 27.8. So these are a tick longer. Same that way. 12. These aftermarkets are just under 12 millimeter. These are a tick under 12, and these are a tick over. Not by much. Like 2/100ths of a 2/1000ths of a millimeter difference. So I'm going to have to do another video later with these running. I don't have anything set up to do that right now. Oh, quit being a snot. Last but not least, did we improve the power supply? Two amp. What did I tell you? 2 amp. Nice job, guys. Nice job. In fact, I'm going to put this this power supply on one of the facades and one of the motors, and I'm going to put the 0.9 amp power supply on one of the facade boards, and I'm going to show you the difference live. When I come back later on today, I'm going to show you the difference. If you've ever had anybody's enterprise that took forever for the lights to warm up, right there, that's why. Jamie, you guys did a great job. I like what you did. I think all metal motors would have been worth the extra couple of dollars, or 4 cents, whatever it is, considering how many were probably made. That's the only recommendation that I have. I like what I see. You don't have to open up all 4 bags to get it 2 colors. I like that. I like the boards that they feel sturdier, they look sturdy, the solder joints look good. The same with the Bussard's motors, boards. Are they thicker? Maybe. They look better. The solder joints look better. They're going to perform better. I can't, so far I can't see anything wrong with that. So, nice idea on the LED tape. Get it straight. So many people's LED tape, when they buy these older kits, the tape lifts off, which reminds me, when you're going to be doing lighting on modeling kits and putting LED tape down, put some hot glue across it, and it'll hold in place. Put even super glue down if you want. Anyway, MKA048. What do I see? I see a lot of improvements. I think if we do any other improvements, it should be a speed control where you can turn the motors up or down. On for ship lighting, on again for all of the lights, including the motors, and off. Maybe a rheostat to where at a certain point all of the lighting comes on. You can turn the motors up after that. There actually is a rheostat for that. So far, I think it's a great upgrade. I don't see anything wrong with it. if I was a beginning modeler, I haven't modeled in years. If I was going to build a TOS for myself, I would have this kit over this kit, or over the other one. Out of the MKA005, this one, and the 007, the MKA48/6 is going to be your best opportunity. Less problems, more detailed, more crystal clear instructions, better circuit boards, better connectors. You've got a better array of LEDs. I can't think of anything else, guys. That's it. Anybody have any questions? Okay, we're going to call it. Guys, if you want a basic lighting kit that has the clear shuttle bay parts, and stay polar lights round 2, you're going to have to get the, if you're going to get the clear shuttle bay parts, don't buy the older kits. Buy the MKA. Buy the MKA048. You're going to be happier. Jamie Hood, thank you so much for sending me one. I'm going to be doing photos over the next couple of days for the group. I like it. I recommend it. My TOS is a lot higher end build, but if I was going to build one for myself where I wouldn't care about museum quality, I would consider myself a beginner or a new beginner, I would get this. Thanks, guys.